Hey guys, welcome to Ben Wrenchin. My name's Ben, and today I'm wrenching on this 2011 Mazda CX-7. It's been a while since I had this car in the garage, and I've got a few projects that I'm going to tackle this week on this. And the first project is replacing the Serpentine Belt. I want to get that done quick so I can get started on the other two projects, but I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. So I'll show you what a bad belt looks like. I'll show you a couple of ways to get the belt off, and then we'll get the new belt on and move on to the next project. So let's get after it. So your belt's always easy to spot. It's usually on the passenger side of the engine, and it's attached to a bunch of pulleys that power things like your power steering pump and your air conditioning compressor. The first thing that you have to keep in mind is the way that the belt is routed through these pulleys. Some pulleys will have grooves on them, and that means that the grooved side of the belt goes on those pulleys, and others will be flat, and that tells you that you need to put the flat side of the belt on those pulleys. Now, how they wrap in between each pulley is unique to each car. The easiest way to remember that is just to draw a diagram, so I'll show you how to do that. As far as a bad belt, you can see all the cracks on that side of the belt here. That tells you that this belt is old and it definitely needs replaced. Over time, heat cycles and moisture just kind of wear the belt out, and then if it starts cracking like that, it could rip the whole belt, and then you lose power to all of those accessories. Having a serpentine belt break on you is a very bad day, so you just want to change it out frequently enough that you don't risk that. And if your belt looks anything like this, you definitely want to go ahead and replace it. You may hear noises coming from the belt. That happens as it loosens up over time. But all of those are good reasons to go ahead and change the belt out. It's pretty simple, but it can be difficult at times. Usually you can get to the tensioner pulley at the top of the engine. But on this car, the tensioner pulley is way down at the bottom, and it doesn't have much clearance to get a socket or a wrench in there. So I started reading up on it, and one tip is to take the wheel off, take that wheel shroud out, and then you've got access to that tensioner pulley. That's going to make it easier on me, and I want to get this done quick so I can move on to my other projects. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the wheel off. As always, I've got it supported on a jack stand with my jack as a backup support, the tire as an emergency safety net, and wheel chocks on the back wheels, as well as the parking brake engaged. So all that's left is removing this plastic shield. It's got 4 Phillips head plastic retainers on it. I can just turn all of those, and it helps to push from the back while you turn those to loosen them up. Once you've got it out far enough, these just pull right out. And it's not a big deal if you break these because they're easy to replace. And of course, the last one's going to be a little difficult. If you can get your fingernail behind it, you can pull that screw out as you turn it. That's the easiest way to take this kind out. And with all 4 of those off, the cover comes off. And with that cover off, we've got easy access to the tensioner pulley right there. It's got a 14mm bolt on it, and it's even got an arrow telling you which way to turn it. So at this point, I'm ready to take the belt off, but first I want to make sure I get the belt routing diagrammed. I took the liberty of drawing my own diagram, but I will also put one up on the screen that's probably cleaner than this. I did get all the pulleys right except for the water pump, so sometimes it can be a fun quiz to see if you know which pulley is which. But now that I'm confident on the belt routing, I can go ahead and get a 14mm wrench on this pulley bolt. I can turn this way to loosen it, and then once I've got it loose, I can reach in and pull the belt off of one of the pulleys. And since I can't get enough leverage with my 14mm wrench, I'm going to put another wrench on the end of it to get extra leverage. That'll help me turn this pulley all the way and get this belt off. I can reach up and slide it off the flat pulley that's right above it, and then release the tension. Take my wrench back off, and now the belt is loose and I can pull it out. And then I can go up top and take it off this pulley here. I got to get it off the alternator pulley too. And once I've got it off all the pulleys, the belt is free. So you can see with this belt that those cracks were actually starting to rip through the entire belt. So if your belt looks anything like that, it is definitely time to be replaced. The first thing I'll do is lay the belts out side by side and make sure they're the same size. And when I pull on both ends, I can see that these match up. Sometimes you'll still have the belt information on the old belt. You can pair that up with the new one. But if your belt's as old as this one, it's been worn off for some time. This fraying on the edges and these marks like this are other indicators that it's time to replace your belt. But if there's cracks like this that you can see through even just a little bit, then it's definitely time to replace it. So the size looks good. I'll go ahead and get it routed onto the pulleys. I'll link this belt in the description. First thing I'm going to do is feed it through to the bottom. I'll feed one side underneath this engine mount so I can get it around the alternator. Once I've got it under there, I can put it around the power steering pump pulley. Once I've got it loosely attached on the top 3 pulleys, I can go underneath and wrap it around the rest of them. I can pull it through and get it around the AC compressor, and from there I can pull it to the crankshaft pulley. From there I really just need to get this end up around the water pump, and then I can get it around the tensioner pulley. So I'll snake this up there around the water pump pulley. That one's way up there and it's pretty tight, but I'll just release the belt off the tensioner pulley, push it up there a little further, and get it around that water pump. That one may be easier to get from the top. That water pump pulley is going to be a lot easier to get from the top here. So I'll just get it on there from here. And then last but not least is getting it around that tensioner pulley. I want to make sure it stays routed onto the water pump because that is a flat pulley. So it doesn't have the grooves to hold the belt in place. So as long as I can get this tight and get my wrench in here, then I can loosen the tension and get this on here. The trick is to put it around the bolt of the tensioner pulley, and then I can double check and make sure it's routed on all the pulleys correctly and it doesn't have any loose spots. If it is loose anywhere, then it's going to make it harder for me to get enough tension to get the belt around the tensioner pulley. So since that water pump pulley is flat, I think the best thing to do is put it around the tensioner. I'll get my wrench on here, loosen the tension, and then I can slide it right over that water pump pulley. I probably made it sound easier than it's going to be for me to do, but I'm going to try it. And this double wrench trick works really well. Alright, so I've messed with this for quite some time and I've got myself in a good position to show you guys how to get this on. I have the belt routed through all the pulleys correctly. The only one that I left off is up here at the top. This is the power steering pump pulley, and I've got a screwdriver through one of the holes to hold the belt there. And the reason I've got it set up like this is because when I released the tensioner pulley, I couldn't get the belt over any of these pulleys. I tried up here and I didn't have enough room. I tried doing it around the AC compressor pulley underneath and that didn't work. And what made the most sense to me is to try to do it here at the crankshaft pulley because it's right next to the tensioner. But that one was the hardest to get on. So no matter what I tried, didn't matter which pulley I tried, I could not get the belt over it. I had a second set of hands release the tensioner all the way, and then I tried on every single one of these pulleys and couldn't get it. So my solution is going to be the same setup, except this time I'm going to use one of these belt installation tools. I'm going to put this onto the power steering pump pulley and then slowly feed the belt onto that pulley using this. I'm still going to use an extra set of hands to hold the tensioner all the way open. So someone's going to hold the tension open on the tensioner pulley. They're going to crank a ratchet on the crankshaft pulley. And while they're doing that, I'm going to guide this installation tool to get that belt to slide right onto that power steering pump pulley. So down here, I released tension on the tensioner with my double wrench combination. While I had that tension released, I was turning the crank pulley with a 21mm socket and my 1/2" drive ratchet. I slowly turned that, and as I did, the belt installation tool fed the belt onto the pulley. From that point, it was on the power steering pump pulley, but it was off the AC compressor pulley just a little bit. So from there, I put this tool in on that pulley and got that one lined up. I had to do the same with the crankshaft, so I just put this tool in here, held it in there and fed it around, and it got that one lined up. So once you get one of the pulleys good, just check the rest of them and make sure they're good too. But at this point, the belt is on all of the pulleys the way that it's supposed to be. Everything looks good. And hopefully that's the last time I have to change a belt on a Mazda. So I'll get this cover back on. I will go ahead and start it up just to double check and make sure the belt's right. And everything looks good, so I think we're good. So after all that, you may have some dirty arms, but at least you got a new belt. I'm not gonna lie, that was way more difficult than I thought it was gonna be. Usually serpentine belts are not that bad. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it jacked up because I'm doing brakes all the way around on this car. I'm also gonna fix an issue with the driver window, and that one is a cheap and easy fix. At least easier than this one was. Holy cow, that was a difficult serpentine belt. But we got it done. I'll go ahead and finish the rest of these projects. I'll get them up as soon as I can, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more on this Mazda, and I will catch you guys in the next video.